Hey guys, what's going on? We're shooting another video. It's the last one for our Jesus 101. So we've talked about Jesus from the beginning of all eternity, because that's where Jesus starts, not in a manger 2,000 years ago. Yes, big part of the story, talked about that too, but he's eternal. He started before that. We talked about how he's mentioned in the Old Testament. We talked about really a ton of this stuff, and walked him all the way through his ministry, birth ministry. I even talked about that period a little bit where it doesn't talk about him in between his birth and his ministry. Talked about his death, his resurrection, his return. And then yesterday, last day, we talked about the two halves of Jesus. Halves is probably not even the right word. I take that back. The two fulls, him being 100% man, 100% God, the hypostatic union. So for those of you guys who watch this, don't call me out on the heresy of me saying that those are the two halves of Jesus. They're not the two halves, my bad. All right, today's our last video, and it's something that all of us will have to answer one way or another in our lives, especially those of us who know who Jesus is. And if you've watched any of my videos, put you in that camp at least a little bit. C.S. Lewis said, if you don't know who that is, check him out. He's an awesome writer. C.S. Lewis said that there are only three ways to respond to Jesus. And he might have been Southern Baptist because he alliterated them all. Three ways. Three L's. Jesus is either liar, lunatic, or Lord. So what he means by that is, if we read the New Testament and see who Jesus said he was, there's only one of three options that we can put him into. He was either a liar. He either claimed to be God, and he knew he wasn't, and he was doing it to punk a bunch of people to get them to follow him. He knew good and well that he was not the Son of God, but he kept telling people that he was. He knew good and well he couldn't redeem people from anything, but he kept telling people that he was. And so he's a big liar. He's a con man. He's the con man. He is a groundbreaking, everybody look at me, give me your dollars con man. He's a liar. Or he's a lunatic. He claimed to be Lord of the universe. He claimed to be the Son of God, and maybe he was a man that just thought he was. Like a guy standing on the side of the road claiming to be a chicken. Like, you would not listen to that guy. That guy is nuts, just quacking on the corner like he's a turkey. Like, this guy's nuts. He believes he's a turkey. He believes he's a chicken. He believes he's a poached egg, I think was the actual brand that Lewis said. But we would look at him and go, you're crazy. I'm not listening to you. You are nuts, because you literally think this is true, but it's not. Maybe this is what Jesus was. Maybe Jesus really did think he was the Son of Man, but he wasn't those things. He claimed to be of God, but he was just 100%, singularly 100% man, and he was a lunatic. Or he really was what he claimed to be, and that is, he is Lord of the universe. And Lewis claimed, and this is true, if you were to read the story of Jesus Christ in the Gospels, you are left with one of these three options. Either he's a con man who deserves to be treated like a con man. We should try to tear down this Christianity thing, because it's founded on a lie that'll send all of us to hell, to some version of Islamic, Buddhistic, Hinduistic hell, or unparadise, or reincarnation. But it's a scam job. It's a crackpot theory. It doesn't deserve any real merit. He's a liar. Or, man, we're getting duped by the craziest man that ever lived. A real dude claiming to be from God, claiming to be able to do miracles, to raise the dead, to forgive sin. This dude is nuts. Why would we follow this man? We shouldn't follow this man. We should try to figure out how to help this man. We shouldn't follow that at all. Or the third option the Bible leaves us with, he is Lord. And if that's true, if he is who he claimed he was, if he is the Son of God, then we have to submit to that. If he really is the Son of God, if he really is the creator of all things, the judge of all people, the Bible, the old church fathers used to say the quick and the dead, the alive and those who are dead. If he really is the Lord and ruler and God of these things, we don't get to play games with that idea. We don't get to say, well, I like Jesus, but don't tell me about money, politics, or sex. Like, no, we don't get to play those games. We have to sit at his feet, look at him as king of the universe, and say, whatever you say, I must do. I must obey. I must fall in. So, what are you doing with your life? What do you think about these things we said about Jesus? Pick one. Make that up for you. Do you think he's a liar? Do you think he knew? Do you think he was a con man? Do you think he was a lunatic? Do you think he was crazy, that he genuinely believed those things, but he's obviously not? Or do you think he's Lord, that he really is what he claims he is? And if that's where you land, and we live in the South, so most of us, if we don't put any real thought in, are going to just land there by default. And I'd encourage you, don't land there by default. Think about this. But if that's where we land, then we got to man up. We got to woman up. We got to be what we claim we are and say, all right, you're Lord, I'm yours. What would you have me do? Love you guys.